even going beyond Jews and kosher, one of the statistics I noticed in Marnie Davis's Jews and Booze book was
Right.
that in the latter centuries of the 19th century, that wine, beer and whiskey, the overall volume just in America in general, far outpaced wine. So
Yeah.
it seems like in the 19th century, wine was not that significant of a beverage in American culture, very different than it is today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And of
So it's not, I don't
course,
think it's a problem restricted to kosher or the Jews. It was just the American context. It just wasn't that popular or prevalent of a beverage.
I think that's right. And
Mhm.
and remember, much of the East is not very good for growing grapes.
Mhm.
And Concord grapes, which grow in New York State,
Mhm.
very sour. Wine was not so prevalent in the 19th century. You didn't have in the East the kind of grape, but it was easy. I mean, you're in Cincinnati, so
Yep.
it's easy. There's plenty of corn. And
Yeah.
elsewhere, there's plenty of wheat.
Mhm.
And so the making of alcoholic beverages, indeed, that was good business because if you can turn it into liquor,
Mhm.
it won't go off. You
Yeah.
can store
It's
it
usable.
for a
Yeah.
long time.
Mhm.
So the incentive was clearly to make liquors
Yeah.
and
Great
different
grain-based
kinds,
products.
brandy, whiskey, and
Yeah.
so on,
Yeah.
rather than wine. I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes really practical issues like transportation and where you can grow grape
Mhm.
play a huge role.
Yeah. So going back to the raisins, it really was highly, so two things. One, probably just a lack of kosher wines available, at least for the early and mid 19th century, and even sounds like even a little bit later 19th century as well, just for nostalgia
Mhm.
purposes, or that's what people were used
Mhm.
to doing. And a high prevalence or high concentration was around Passover preparation.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah,
and and
yeah.
and I think in your article, some of those traditions still lingered around for
They
Passover.
certainly did. I have met people.
Mhm.
It's not in the article, but I've met people who told me, sure, in World War II, my parents, were stationed somewhere and they couldn't get wine and they made raisin wine.
Wow.
And so this sense that if couldn't get it, you can make it something that you can use on Passover for Seder.
Mhm.
This seems to have been known.
Mm.
It was part of what we might call cultural memory that really lasted well into the 20th century.